years, people have been drawn to the wild magic of the Northern Rockies. They've marveled at the glacier-carved valleys and razor-sharp peaks of Canada's oldest national parks. They've basked in the palatial wilderness hotels built by the Canadian Pacific Railroad at the turn of the century. Canada's Rocky Mountains need no introduction, for they are amongst the most recognizable alpine images in the world. Banff National Park, Jasper, Lake Louise. These famous place names resonate with the romance of adventure travel. Times change. What was once remote wilderness country is now accessible to almost anyone. Yet there are ways of getting off the beaten track.
My name is Arthur Tauck. When people ask me where my favorite place is, there's no question. It's high above the forested valleys of eastern British Columbia, among these towering peaks and hulking glaciers. When I first broke away from the usual tourist routes in the Rockies and began exploring the interior ranges of Western Canada, I was astounded by what I found. I began wondering whether there was a way I could introduce Tauck guests to this experience. We found a way and discovered one of the most exciting trips we've ever offered. We call it heli-exploring. I was first introduced to these mountains on a ski trip with my son in 1976. We stayed in this marvelous place called Caribou Lodge, run by Hans Moser's company, Canadian Mountain Holidays. It is located in a secluded alpine valley, miles from the nearest settlement. It's truly a magnificent spot, and the isolation only added to our feeling of adventure. When I heard that Moser shut down his lodges after the ski season, I realized it was an opportunity I had been waiting for. With those lodges as a base of operations, I could combine a classic motor tour of the Rockies with a few days of high mountain adventure by helicopter.
The adventure begins in Calgary, Alberta. Banff and the Rocky Mountains are only a couple of hours away. The next few days are devoted to exploring the wonders of Canada's most celebrated region. The most exciting part of the trip is reserved for last. Bugaboo Lodge, Caribou Lodge, the Bobby Burns. Each of these lodges is in the heart of over 800 square miles of wilderness terrain. In Europe, a similar-sized area would see hundreds, even thousands of visitors on any given day. Here, you have it all to yourselves. Heli-exploring can mean a lot of different things to different people. Initially, some guests are concerned that the walking may be difficult and strenuous.
Looks like an evergreen.
Deciduous pine tree.
Deciduous pine tree. Okay.
What happens is the needles will fall off, they'll turn black, and then again in the spring they'll come out in a bright, bright green. Feel them. Just feel how soft. It's just like silk, eh?
Isn't that pretty? That's fun to do all those things. And get, make a whole day.
Each morning, lodge guests are divided into 4 small parties. The day's adventures are then set up to satisfy each group's particular needs and abilities.
First trip to Maui, Chris.
Well, grizzlies, their claws are always out and they're about this long and they can just grab huge mounds of turf.
Boy.
Just woof, woof.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Well, it sounds like they're vegetarian the way you're describing them, except
Mostly,
for
they're omnivores.
omnivores.
They eat absolutely anything. They do like...
They're like you, they eat absolutely anything.
I'm going to remember that word.
They love honey.
Yeah, I'm an omnivore.
You are.
I have some kids that are omnivores.
It's a very fragile, marshy area here, so let's spread out so that we don't all go in one place and make a big trough through here. Let's really go easy on this place.
What makes it shiny, for instance?
It's a crystalline structure.
Crystalline crystal.
Actually, he
right.
thought he's found gold and he's getting very disappointed. I can see that.
150, 200 years ago, these gnarly old prospectors would run up and down these valleys with their mules. And because of that geological formation, they figured, aha, this is going to be gold. And they went running all through these valleys looking for the quartz outcrops and looking for gold, and they didn't find any. And they called that drainage and that group of mountains a bugaboo, which means...
What would you like? Medium cheese? How are you?
It's in places like Tamarack Flats that the alpine magic really takes hold.
You know, Hans, I was here in June, and here we are at the end of July, and in June, you almost stepped down to get here. You're coming across a snow bridge to get here, and I'm just amazed at how it changes every time you come here.
Oh, it's a really stunning place and quite unique because most areas of that nature drop off so steep, and here you got this long ridge going out with all these terraces and all these mountains. The chair
So I've been learning as we were going along here about fishing in the Bow River.
The high ridges provide endless opportunities for easy walking.
You know, it makes a whole day out of it.
Nice and easy down the path.
Each guided group can decide on how much or how little walking they choose to do.
They're doing a toboggan.
I don't believe it.
That was wonderful.
Bugaboo bobsled.
Adventure above timberline assumes being prepared for a variety of weather conditions. Your guide will provide you with all the mountain gear you need, from parkas and rain ponchos to gaiters and hiking boots. There is a special character to Western Canada's mountain hospitality. It reflects a tradition that dates all the way back to the last century, and the first generation of European guides hired to work here for the Canadian Pacific Railroad. These early mountaineers set a guiding standard that's among the highest in the world. But they were also keen hosts who knew how to entertain their clients while guiding them through the mountains. It's a double legacy that their modern counterparts, people like Hans Moser, are proud to uphold.
There's a really good example here of a massive larch tree, and if you cut the cross-section through that one, I bet you count at least 350 rings or possibly more.
A special effort is made to foster the feeling that guests and staff are all part of a big family. Since the first heli-exploring tour was organized in 1978, guests have experienced the special intimacy of this high mountain environment. For them, it's been the experience of a lifetime.
The caribous, the bugaboos, you know, everybody brags on, you know, doing the deep powder skiing here. But I think it's marvelous to come in the summertime.
I've heard a great deal about it. This is even more beautiful than I expected.
So rock-hewn and pure, and it gives one a sense of their proportion in life, I think. It's very noble place.
This mountain wilderness of eastern British Columbia really is one of the last frontiers on this planet. Until you arrive, one can scarcely understand the experience of walking among these mountain giants, of creeping along the edge of their ancient glaciers, so wild and empty of people. To come here is to experience the raw power of the natural world. Heli-exploring here in Western Canada.